For those who are new to my channel, my name is Kristina Jay and I'm a life purpose, confidence and happiness life coach. Today's video is about abusive cycle and how to escape the prison of the trauma bond. Why the abused partners remain in the relationship and lack courage and strength to stand up for what is right, to request the change from the partner, or simply end the abusive relationship. The victim might understand that the abuser treats her wrong, belittles and controls and criticizes, neglects her emotionally, uses silent treatment or gaslights her, calls her names, insults her, rejects her opinion, threatens her, blames and shames. So she desperately wants to end that, to end the pain, the sadness, the unfairness, hopelessness. But she just cannot confront the partner, cannot speak up, cannot ask for a change, cannot leave, and remains in the abusive relationship for years, decades, and as a consequence loses herself in the process and loses her true individuality and loses her interests and does not know anymore who she is. That is all because the victim has created the traumatic bond with an abuser and is stuck. If you are in an emotionally abusive relationship, you may feel as if you are in prison. You feel trapped, unable to escape, unable to even imagine how to do that. You might already feel like you cannot tolerate living with your partner one more day, and yet at the same time, you are afraid that you will not be able to live without him. Emotional abuse can create a prison for victims because even when you know that you are being mistreated, you may not have the ability to end the relationship. We are aware that people are put in prison because they committed a crime, because they did something wrong. In your case, you need to understand you have not done anything wrong and you do not deserve to be punished nor serve your sentence in the prison. People who haven't experienced abuse, they often struggle to understand why people remain in abusive relationships. They might believe you are perfectly capable of just leaving. In reality, though, the trauma bond makes this extremely difficult. So what is a trauma bond? A trauma bond is a dysfunctional attachment that occurs in the process of danger, shame, or exploitation. It is being connected to someone through your inner wounds. The emotional attachment, known as a trauma bond, develops out of repeated cycle of abuse, devaluation, and positive reinforcement. The trauma of abuse might create powerful feelings you struggle to make sense of, especially when abuse alternates with kindness and intimacy. It is very natural to develop a bond with someone who treats you with kindness and care. And many abusive relationships begin with a shower of affection and assurances of love. And when the abuse begins, when the abuser begins to treat you wrong, it may take you by surprise. Afterward, your partner might apologize and swear to change or insist, "I was just upset." And these attempts to manipulate often succeed since you remember the early days of the relationship and believe they can be that person again. It is generally easier to leave a situation that's entirely bad, one where the abusive person never offers any kindness or concern for your well-being. If you don't believe someone will ever change, you probably won't stick it around, and it would be way easier to leave that type of relationship. But in abusive relationships, your partner occasionally does treat you well. They might bring you gifts and buy you flowers and call you their soulmate and tell you that are the best sex partner, shower you with compliments in front of others, hold you in their arms. Then when his anger outbursts come, or he devalues you, belittles you, controls you, and demonstrates other signs of abuse, you feel horrible. But soon after, he starts treating you nice again, and you forgive him. Till next time, until next, until next. That is called abusive cycle. By psychologist Leonore Walker, she gives 4 stages of that abusive cycle. So first one would be like building tension, and then an incident of abuse, reconciliation, and number 4, calm period. And it repeats it again: building tension, incident of abuse, reconciliation, and calm. All that creates a traumatic bond. You still see the good side of an abuser, and you hope that one day his abuse will stop and he will eventually become that awesome guy you know on good and calm days. Therefore, you stay and cling onto that toxic hope and wait for a real change to happen, which might never occur. So I would recommend you to spot those 7 signs that's going to tell you that you are trauma bonded with your partner. So number 1, your relationship is unpredictable. You do not know what to expect. Will your partner respond nicely to the matter you brought up, or will he just overreact? Will he be kind to your children, or will he have an anger outburst? Will he talk respectfully to your parents or belittle them? Will he be emotionally available for you or shut? Will he be kind and understanding, or rude and humiliating towards you? So your relationship is unpredictable. You do not know what to expect. Number 2, the sign that you might be trauma bonded with your partner is you are making excuses for an abusive behavior. And you can check my last video on the subject. But we try to excuse the abuse, saying, that's okay, he didn't mean it, I know deep inside he loves me, I was mean to him too, this is the way he is, I like being treated this way, and so on and so forth. Number 3, the partner constantly betrays you, but you still give them another chance. The same mistakes are repeated over and over, but you forgive and you give another chance, and then another and another, even though the behavior remains the same. Number 4, you feel responsible for your partner's happiness. You try to find a reason to stay. You hold on to good times in a relationship. You don't want your partner to be unhappy, therefore you remain. And you think that without you, he will be sad, unhappy, lost. He needs you besides to help him become a better person. Number 5, your relationship is complex and involves false promises. You hear quite often, this will not happen again. I'm trying so hard. Don't you see it? I'm sorry I caused you the pain. I'll change, or I'm changing. You believe all that. You stay just to find out that these were all false promises over and over again. Number 6, you tend to defend your relationship even if it is abusive. You say to others, it is not that bad. You're working on your relationship and things are slowly getting better. And one day they will be awesome. Your partner did not mean to be rude to you or your family. He just had a bad day. So you tend to defend your abuser and tend to defend your relationship. Number 7, the sense of familiarity makes it impossible to leave the relationship. You know how it goes. Calm period, love bombing and kindness is followed by a trigger, then building tension, then an incident of abuse, then reconciliation, and again, calm loving period. You do not know anything better. That is what you know. That is so familiar. You are so used to that emotional roller coaster that you do not know how could you possibly survive without it. You do not want to try anything different, and you just remain in an abusive relationship. So these are the signs that you are trauma bonded with your abusive partner. The feelings of emotional attachment and blind trust, shame, and denial can make you unaware how destructive your relationship is to your overall mental, emotional, and even physical health. I heard an analogy that the abusive cycle, it is like someone banging his own head against the wall. And when someone asks him why he's doing that, he replies, because it feels so good when I stop it. That is the same with an abusive relationship. With the abusive cycle and trauma bond, you stay in it, even it hurts so bad, but you know that after that pain, the little period of calmness and goodness will emerge, and it will feel so good. In a sense, you are addicted to the excitement of the relationship. You will be up on top of the mountain, good times and love bombing and kindness, and down the mountain, difficult times and pain and trauma. And again, you are up and you are down, and you are up and you are down. You may start even considering a healthy relationship as boring and dull, because after all, you are up and down in that emotional roller coaster. Here comes the hill, here comes the slope, here comes kind words and love, here comes rudeness and emotional pain. And the same way feels your abusive too. That is trauma bond shouting at you loud and clear. You are addicted to unhealthy patterns in your relationship. However, you can get out of the emotional roller coaster, to get out of that prison, to cut the trauma bond. It is not an easy work, but it is possible. How? These are few steps you can try putting into practice. You need to face the truth. Number one, acknowledge that you are being emotionally abused. Do not try to excuse it. Look at all the facts. Acknowledge that you are a victim of the abusive relationship. That is not embarrassing. That is not weak. That is the first step in cutting the trauma bond. Number two, understand that it is not a healthy love. It is a trauma bond. Do not lie to yourself and say that deep inside the partner loves you and you love him when he treats you right. It could be that already due to the abuse, you do not trust that person anymore. You find nothing in common. His personality is unpleasant and you do not feel happy besides him. Abuse destroys love. And it could plainly be that you both are just stuck in a trauma bond. Number three, acknowledge your feelings. Journal. Write down how being stuck in this relationship affects you. How do you feel when you are going through abusive cycle? How do you feel when you are being treated right and then wrong? How do you feel when you give all those chances for a change and the change never happens? Just let yourself feel. You can write it down. When he was dismissive, it made me feel disappointed. When he called me names, I felt humiliated and angry at him. When my partner did not keep his promise, I felt huge disappointment and I lost trust, and so on and so forth. Number four, enforce strong boundaries. Stand up for yourself. Do not allow to be mistreated over and over. Communicate. Tell what you want. If the partner says he will not do that again, but he does it, what consequences he's getting for his behavior? Will you forgive him again? Will give another 100th chance? Or separate yourself? Maybe go no contact? Or will start attending counseling? What are the consequences? You need to learn to enforce the boundaries. Number five, live in a real time and do not fake the future. Say to yourself, his behaviors are affecting me now. I feel the pain now. I'm losing myself in this process now. He's hurting me now. The children are affected negatively now. Do not try to say to yourself, one day yet will be better. Think of now. Think of the present moment. How does this relationship looks like now, today, this minute? Number six, how to cut the trauma bond is do not worry and do not be afraid of tomorrow. Live one day at a time. Do what is right for today. Try not to think too much about how everything is gonna look like. Will you stay in the relationship? Will you end it? what is his reaction, what his reaction will be, what if it ends, how your life will look like in the future, what about him, what if he finds another partner, what if he gets depressed, what if I regret my choice. All this is unnecessary worry. Worry is like a rocking chair. You can rock it in it all day, but it will not take you anywhere. One step at a time, do what is right for today. Number 7, have the time for self-care. Educate yourself on abusive relationships, on trauma bonding, on healing, on self-esteem. Parent yourself, self-coach yourself, read good books, go on nature walks, connect yourself with your support group, your true friends, pray, meditate, sing, paint, do those things that bring you pleasure. Number 8, acknowledge that cutting the trauma bond will hurt and will hurt badly, but you are ready for that. Say to yourself that you are ready to cut the trauma bond. You are ready to stop being addicted to an unhealthy relationship, an abusive cycle. You want to get out of the emotional roller coaster, and you know that it will not be easy. It will be painful. It will hurt, as it is not easy to get out of an addiction. But you are determined, you are courageous, and you are ready. Oh, so very ready. I hope this video helped you to understand why people are staying in an abusive relationship. Also, what it is an abusive cycle and trauma bond. If you know someone who is stuck in a toxic relationship, or you are the one who cannot make any further steps to get out of emotional abuse, try to help others and yourself by understanding the trap of the trauma bond and be brave enough to cut it. Be courageous enough to break free from that prison, because you have been serving the sentence without being guilty. The abuse is not your fault. You need to begin to believe that you deserve to be treated with more respect and consideration, as well as have confidence to stand up for what is right, and if needed, even walk away from the abusive relationship. Do not forget to check my videos on how to stop the emotional abuse and stop excusing it. Well, take care, see you next time, and bye for now.